for.
Jack, on behalf of the people of the United States of America, I want to thank you for saving us all from another disaster that could have crippled this great nation.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Now, I want you to go home and get yourself a well-earned rest.
Where the bloody hell have you been?
What the hell are you talking about?
What am I talking about? You buggered off 24 hours ago and you've not called to say you're going to be late? The toilet's still backed up, dinner's gone cold, and let me guess, you forgot to pick up the fucking washing detergent like I asked you to.
What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, that's fucking great. Right. You are going to march straight up those stairs and fix that toilet, and I don't care if you end up knee-deep in shit doing it. Then you're going to go down the shops, pick up that detergent and a pint of milk, and don't you dare be getting that fucking semi-skim shit either. You know it brings me out in a rash.
This is the longest day of my life.
Oh, piss off. Anyone would be think you've been out saving the world or something. Go on, fuck off upstairs and get to work.
Wiley Pods.
Hi!
Hiya!
You look fit.
Thanks! Want a shag?
Yeah. Let's go back to my place.
Cool!
This man is headed for disaster, and he doesn't even know it. Here's what should have happened.
Hi!
Hiya!
You look fit.
Thanks! Want a shag?
Okay. Let's go back to your place.
Cool!
But first, I'm going to need you to sign this form.
What is it?
It's a sexual consent form. It just states that you have agreed to consensual sex with me and cannot charge me with rape. This is also why it's best we go back to your place instead of mine, as you can also accuse me of kidnapping, which, just in case we have to go back to my place, here's the form that you'll need to fill out for that.
Right.
Just sign here, here, and initial here. Yeah, can you just print your name at the bottom? Great. Oh, is that your friend over there?
Yeah?
Okay, I'm going to need her signature as well as a witness.
Okay.
Next time you go out on the town to pick up some tail, think before you dip. This message is brought to you by Jiffy Johnny's, for when a crisp packet just won't do. Check out the new Rainbow range. Come in a range of colours, that's right.
Big, hairy, sweaty bollocks. This is Waiting for Death.
Priest admits holy water comes from the Thames. Hairy-lipped lesbian convinced all men are kiddie fiddlers. Retired couple disgusted by snuff film's poor production values. And a man spends entire workday staring blankly at his screensaver.
This is SYKE News, where the truth of the matter is no longer the cause. With your host, Baron Clef Pallet.
There are growing fears today over the threat of invasion from the Irish, once considered to be a harmless bunch of potato farmers who slept with dwarves to breed a super race of leprechauns. The Irish have recently started to clean up their act, and the country has now voluntarily entered a drug and rehab clinic in the exclusive end of Slough. Spokesman at the clinic, John Widebottom, had this to say.
I have nothing to say.
When pressured further with the aid of a pair of pliers around his testicles, he screamed, oh God, I think I can see my grandmother. The pain doesn't even hurt no more." The British government has been swift to act on the matter, pouring hot water over the issue and most of Belfast. With the vast majority now suffering from third-degree burns, it's expected the Irish will be turning back to the drink to numb the pain within the next day or two, rendering this story as a complete waste of time. New legislation giving authorities the right to withhold terrorist suspects becomes active from yesterday. Under new guidelines set out by some redneck alarmist, anyone suspected of terrorist acts can now be held without charge for upwards of 12 years, 3.5 days, excluding leap years. This will hopefully make England a safe place to live. If not, police powers will be increased further, whereby even tougher laws will allow them to beat the living snot out of anyone that looks foreign, looks at them cockeyed, or looks more attractive than them. Basically, they'll continue to do what they have always done, with the difference being that it will actually be legal. Weather for Middle America, no change, still innocuous and completely cut off from the reality of the world around it. Expect a tornado or 7 to pick off a couple of trailer park trash families later in the week when God gets sick to death of them using his name as an excuse whilst bumming the next door neighbour's Shetland pony.
SYKE News. When you don't believe anything you read, believe your ears.
Waiting for death. Power washing tits in great places like Hunstanton.
So, in accordance with the new laws bestowed upon us by the powers that be and the all-seeing eye, we praise the eye and bow before its greatness. It is now illegal to wear any form of clothing upon your head.
Excuse me, yes, does this include Muslims?
No, of course not, as the government would certainly not want to appear racist, plus that's where our oil comes from, and so we would not wish to offend our suppliers.
What about Indians?
They are also exempt, because we cannot offend the nation that keeps us with a steady supply of kebabs and curry houses. For if it weren't for them, we would have nowhere to go when we got the munchies.
How about the Jews?
Religious beliefs.
Native Africans?
Ceremonial.
American Indians?
Sacred.
Cowboys?
We're the 53rd state.
Could you tell us who this law actually affects, then?
Yes, anyone who is of a white and or Caucasian appearance with an English-speaking tongue who is derived of true English heritage and is seen wearing a form of hat will be charged. This includes hoodies, top hats, baseball caps or bonnets.
But this sounds like reverse racism.
Sorry, what's your name?
John Smith.
Will the officers at the back of the room please place Mr. Smith under arrest?
What? What for?
Are you not wearing a set of headphones on your head?
But that's because I'm recording this press conference.
But under new guidelines, that is considered a form of headwear and deemed to be an act of terror under anti-terror laws. Take him away, please, officers.
I've got rights, you know.
So, now we move on to the next agenda, the public banning of blinking. Now, under the new regime, I mean legislation, it is now a bootable offence to blink more than 17 times per minute in a public and or private public location. The boot of which you'll be booted by is steel-capped and made from the finest rubber in North Petherton.
Huge pot.
It's story time with Jean-Paul.
In a sleepy village in the Shire, young bi-curious hobbit Bullbag Biggins found himself faced with an immense task. Gandalf, the wizard with a fucking huge wand, wanted to make him the Whore of the Rings. Get deep inside those fiery cracks, instructed Gandalf. Poor Bullbag did not know if he meant Mount Doom or his whiffy fudge tunnel. If he was truthful, the spunky young character was intrigued by the prospect of brown love. He had heard all about the ring tossing. This was ever since his neighbours, the hairy Sackville Bigginses, encouraged Bullbag to gobble on some salted pork and smoke the bag end. "It is time for the fireworks," exclaimed the Wizard of the White Wee-Wee, as the heavy electrical smell of vigorous wanking hung heavy in the Middle-earth air. The Proudfoots got off with the hornblowers, and the Bracegirdles swallowed the guy glue of the Tooks. This was a very pleasant feast.
Good night, boys and girls. Till next time.
You have been waiting for death. To find out more, visit us online, waitingfordeath.net. Copyright Wankana Productions, 2006.